fine. I have my Pellegrino. It's great. Definitely don't need a margarita. Hey, I'm Rachel and I'm a Goodful producer. And for the next 30 days, I'm going to attempt to socialize without alcohol. I would say my anxiety started even when I was a little kid. I was super shy. When I got older and I started drinking in college, alcohol was something that really helped me loosen up. It helped me talk to people, it helped me be more confident. And I feel like I definitely have been using alcohol as a coping mechanism for social anxiety. And that's not a good thing. I don't want to feel like I need alcohol in order to talk to people or to have fun. So I want to take the next 30 days to take a break from alcohol. And I really want to see how dependent I have become on it, or if it's really just that I have this idea in my head that I need it. So this month I'm going to be going on a first date, going to a wedding, and celebrating my birthday, all completely sober. I don't think this is gonna be super easy, and I think I'm gonna be very tempted at times, but I am excited to not be hungover. I'm with Merle, and we're about to go to a bar to meet some people from work who I don't know very well. Normally, I would really want to drink for that.
Not tonight.
Not tonight, folks. Also, realizing they're not going to let me bring my caffeine into the bar.
Why don't they have coffee on tap for people who don't drink? Or
It'll keep us up longer to drink more, buy more alcohol.
You know what I mean?
That's not really healthy.
I think I tried to overcompensate for the fact I wasn't drinking by just like going hard on the caffeine. I drank cold brew. I don't even drink coffee normally. I drink like 2 English breakfast teas, and that's like me getting crazy. So I was just like off my rocker. I got really agitated. People were too loud. People kept bumping into me. It did not go over well. I think that the cold brew might have been a mistake.
Not chill at all.
Homegirl is lit.
She was trying to have a conversation with this lovely Australian man, and I'm just
so
standing
cute.
there like
and Rachel goes,
twitching.
Rachel goes, let's blow this popsicle stand. It's back to her charging station.
We're gonna go dance. That's all I can do right now. That's all I can do. I'm just leaving the dance concert now, and that was not great. It's like when you go back to your high school and it looks really small. It was kind of like that because it just felt so different and like not as exciting. Dancing for me has always been something that's been very enhanced by alcohol. If I don't like the music that's playing, like I don't even really want to be there. We are at Crystal's house. We're having a little Goodful Gals lady night, and they're drinking some delicious margaritas.
This is, I'm not exaggerating, the best margarita I have ever had in my life.
And I'm fine. I'm fine. I have my Pellegrino. It's great. Definitely don't need a margarita. Crystal made me a virgin margarita, and I'm a happy camper. Cheers. Cheers. So the second week into the month, my friend invited me to her birthday party. And I was excited to go, but I didn't know anybody there except her. And normally the idea of going to an event where I only know one person would make me really want to drink, but I just had to do it without alcohol. Okay, so I just left the bar and I really enjoyed that, and I'm honestly shocked. I was dancing, I was having fun, I was talking to people, I loved all of the music they were playing. I didn't tell people that I wasn't drinking, I was just drinking seltzer and pretending it was like a vodka soda, and nobody noticed or said anything. I just didn't feel like I was missing out on anything. And now I'm about to drive home in my car and save a ton of money on a Lyft, and I saved a ton of money on not buying alcohol, so would do again.
How are you feeling about the date tonight?
I'm going on a date tonight. I'm very nervous. I'm just nervous my hands are gonna start shaking because my hands always start shaking when I get really nervous, so.
How are you gonna cover it up?
I don't know. It's a great question.
Sit on your hands.
I'll just, hello.
So nice to meet you, Rachel.
What are your passions in life? My palms are getting sweaty just thinking about it. The kombucha's gonna slide right out of my paw. I think that we feel like we have to drink on the first date because it lowers your inhibitions and gives you that little extra courage to feel like you can be a little flirty and like do a little knee touching. Ooh. You know, for someone who's like a little bit shyer and has a little bit more anxiety, it helps a lot. They have non-alcoholic beer here, which I am very excited about. It doesn't taste great, but it tastes like I'm drinking a beer. This date really took me by surprise. We talked for 3 hours. There were definitely moments where I was like, yeah, beer would probably help me be a little more like flirtatious right now. But honestly, I had a great time, and I was just shocked by how much easier it was than I thought it was gonna be. A few weeks into the challenge, I was really curious to learn more about social anxiety and the effect that alcohol has on the brain. So I met with a psychologist to get some more information.
As often the case with anxiety disorders, they lie to us. Our brain tells us that things are much, much worse than they actually are in reality. Alcohol is not known as liquid courage for nothing. It got that name because when we're drinking alcohol, the parts of our brain that are judging us are dulled. And what instead takes over is the pleasure principle. Our inhibitions are gone and our confidence increases because we don't have those judgmental voices in our heads. It would be lovely if we could just direct alcohol to work only upon that system that actually helps us regulate our pleasure. But in reality, alcohol is acting upon the entire brain, which means that when we're drinking, even though we may be experiencing relief from our social anxiety, we're also impairing our memory, we're impairing our ability to actually think clearly. We're asking the brain to act in a way that it does not normally do. It's releasing chemicals that say, this is great, you're doing just fine, keep going. In response to that, the cognitive center of the brain is also releasing its chemicals that say, wake up, you need to pay attention, you need to be on right now. Unfortunately, what happens the following day is that those chemicals actually create a feeling of overstimulation of someone having more anxiety than they had the day prior. And that is how, unfortunately, at least psychological dependence on alcohol develops.
So during the 3rd week of this month, I had this wedding coming up, and I was just like, you know, it's gonna be fun, but it would be a lot more fun if I were drinking. But I was shocked by how much fun I had at this wedding. I was just with all of my friends from high school, and I was just genuinely having so much fun dancing. A wedding is one of those things where I've been like, I have to drink or I'm not gonna have fun, I'm not gonna be able to dance. But I'm dancing, I'm talking to people, I feel great. I don't feel awkward, like busting a freaking move. And they had English breakfast tea. What more could you need? And I also just think that being around my friends from high school made me think about how when I was in high school, I didn't drink and I did improv, I did theater, I went to prom totally sober, and I didn't think about needing alcohol for any of these things in the way I do today. It was just because I had never had alcohol before and I was still doing all the things I love to be doing and having a blast doing them all. I'm gonna be honest, I was really tempted to end the challenge a day early so I could drink on my birthday. But I decided to stay strong, and I'm so glad I didn't cheat because I kind of felt like it would have taken away from everything I learned throughout the challenge. For my birthday, I ended up meeting up in a park with some of my friends and playing board games and just hanging out. I had a blast, and I drank seltzer, and I didn't need alcohol to have fun and enjoy the day. And I was not hungover the next day. And so I'm really happy that I ended it on a strong note. Towards the end of the month, I really started to notice a difference in my mood. It is 8 a.m. on Sunday morning, and normally I would be sleeping right now or hungover right now, but since I'm not, I decided to get up early and head to the farmer's market. I want to start doing this all the time now. I was more productive, I was sleeping better, I just felt more stable in general. So my biggest takeaway from this challenge is that I really don't need alcohol as much as I thought I did. Yes, alcohol calms my nerves and it helps me strike up a conversation with somebody a little more easily, but it doesn't mean that I can't do those things without drinking. I think proving to myself that I could talk to anybody, I could dance, I could go on a first date without drinking was actually really freeing. It also made me realize who I genuinely enjoy spending my time with, and when I put myself in situations where I'm kind of bored. I think that having so much fun at the wedding really proved to me that I give alcohol way too much credit. Now that this challenge is over, I'm not going to never drink again, but I am going to be a lot more mindful about when I do choose to drink. I can now decide to only have 1 glass of wine as opposed to 3 when I'm catching up with a friend, because I know that it doesn't really enhance the experience as much as I used to think it did.